Few animals in the animal kingdom can match the Siberian tiger and polar bear's raw strength and power. These creatures are among the toughest in the animal kingdom and have ruled their respective habitats for centuries. But what if they came into conflict with one another? Who would win the contest? Everyone has been wondering about this, and today we will finally learn the answer. So sit back, relax, and get ready to witness one of the most engaging and entertaining battles of all time. Physical characteristics. With a total length of up to 11 feet, 3.35 meters, and a weight of over 600 pounds, 272 kilograms, it is also one of the most endangered big cats in the world. Their distinctive orange coats are thick and luxurious, helping them to stay warm in the harsh climate of Siberia thanks to the combination of the two characteristics. When compared to other large cats, the Siberian tiger is larger and more powerful than its cousin, the Bengal tiger, but it is not quite as massive as its close relative, the African lion. Male polar bears can grow to be up to 8 feet, 2.44 meters, long and weigh over 1,500 pounds, 680 kilograms, making them the largest predators in the Arctic. Their thick, white coats are perfectly adapted to the environment of the Arctic, serving as both insulation from the bitter cold and camouflage while they are out hunting. When compared to other animals that live in the Arctic, the polar bear is larger and more powerful than the walrus, but it does not possess the same degree of agility as the Arctic fox. Hunting and survival techniques. The Siberian tiger is a solitary hunter that relies on its stealth and speed to take down its prey. It does this by ambushing its target from behind. They focus primarily on hunting large animals such as deer and wild boar, but it is not uncommon for them to kill bears, wolves, and even other tigers in the course of their hunts. The Siberian tiger has evolved to have thick fur and a stocky build in order to endure the harsh environment of Siberia. These adaptations allow the Siberian tiger to hunt successfully despite the harsh conditions they face. The polar bear is the most formidable predator in the Arctic, and it feeds almost exclusively on seals and fish. They have powerful swimming abilities and are able to dive to great depths in search of the food they need to survive. The polar bear has developed a thick layer of blubber that insulates it from the cold and provides energy when times are lean. This adaptation allows the polar bear to survive in the harsh environment of the Arctic. Natural habitats and distribution. The Siberian tiger lives in the far eastern regions of Russia, most notably in the Amur region. Its range encompasses the entire country. They have adapted to the mountainous and forest environments of this region, which is where they do most of their hunting and where they raise their young. There are only about 500 Siberian tigers left in the wild, despite the fact that the species is legally protected. This puts the Siberian tiger in imminent danger of becoming extinct. It is essential, in order to ensure the survival of this magnificent species, that their natural habitats be safeguarded and that the hunting and poaching grounds be kept intact for the benefit of future generations. The polar bear inhabits the entirety of the Arctic, but it is most prevalent in the countries of Canada, Greenland, Norway, and Russia. They have evolved to be able to survive in the harsh environment of the Arctic, which includes the icy tundra and waters where they hunt and raise their young. The polar bear is legally protected, but their habitats are still being negatively impacted by climate change, which puts their survival in jeopardy. Polar bears are being forced to spend an increasing amount of time on land as the sea ice continues to melt, which puts them at an increased risk of starvation as well as conflict with human communities. Polar bear versus Siberian tiger, the fight. In the event that the Siberian tiger and the polar bear engage in a battle to the death, it is essential to take into account both animals' physical strengths and weaknesses. However, the polar bear is considerably larger and more powerful than the Siberian tiger, weighing in at over 1,500 pounds, 680 kilograms, and growing to lengths of up to 8 feet, 2.44 meters. The Siberian tiger is quicker and more nimble than the polar bear. If a fight were to take place, the polar bear would have the upper hand in a confrontation that took place at close range, whereas the Siberian tiger would come out on top if it was able to maintain its distance and make use of its speed. In every match, there is at least one wild card that has the potential to affect the final result. In this scenario, the environment serves as the wild card. If the battle were to take place in the forest habitat of the Siberian tiger, the tiger would have the upper hand due to its familiarity with the terrain as well as its ability to use the trees to its advantage. On the other hand, if the battle were to take place in the Arctic, which is the natural habitat of the polar bear would have the upper hand due to its familiarity with the environment and its ability to use the icy waters to its advantage. It is difficult to predict who would come out on top in a fight between a Siberian tiger and a polar bear because both of these animals have their own set of advantages and disadvantages. If the battle were to take place in the tiger's natural habitat of dense forests, where it is accustomed to living, the tiger's quickness, stealth, and potent hunting instincts would likely give it the upper hand. A strategic advantage would be afforded to the tiger as a result of its ability to climb trees and make use of its agility to their advantage. On the other hand, if the fight were to take place in the Arctic habitat of the polar bear would have the upper hand due to its larger size, greater strength, and greater familiarity with its surroundings. In this setting, the polar bear's formidable swimming abilities, in addition to its ability to exploit the frigid waters to its advantage, would give it a strategic advantage over other animals. One more thing to take into account is the wild card, which was discussed earlier in the video. If a third factor, such as the presence of food or the interruption of another predator, were to come into play, it could change the dynamics of the fight and result in a different outcome. Another possibility is that the fight could be interrupted by another predator. In any event, it is essential to keep in mind that encounters like these are extremely uncommon in the wild, and that it is our duty to ensure that these magnificent creatures and the environments in which they live are protected for the benefit of future generations. Conclusion. In conclusion, the outcome of a standoff between a Siberian tiger and a polar bear is difficult to predict, as it would depend on many factors, including the environment in which the fight takes place, as well as any wild cards that may come into play. Both animals are remarkable creatures, and it is our responsibility to preserve them and their habitats for future generations. What do you think the outcome of a fight between a Siberian tiger and a polar bear would be? Let us know in the comments section below.